royal hair, and to some extent other people's hair, was kept covered. And these are some of the assumptions I've made based on what I've seen in my dream regressions. So they're things that I am assuming from what I've seen. Anyway, even children often had their heads shaved, and for boys it was just partially, and as soon as adulthood was reached, they could, if they wanted to, grow their hair, but it seemed important that it was covered. It was believed that shaving the head strengthened the body against disease. It also prevented control being exerted over a person, either physically or by magic. They had many strange beliefs regarding hair, but it's clear that it did in fact work to keep lice at bay. So having a bald head in that way did minimize some illnesses. Those who chose to keep their own hair would often have it removed and made into a wig at some point in their life when they were ill and were trying to get their health and their strength back. To me, now, in today's world, it just doesn't seem logical that removing one's hair could prevent magic being done to you. Not just because I don't necessarily believe in magic, but also because if the hair you're susceptible to from magic is cut off, then why keep it and use it as part of your own wigs? Surely that same hair could be used, could be taken and turned into some kind of spell. Or maybe I just don't understand how Egyptian magic works. But it doesn't make sense, and yet to them it seemed to make perfect sense. So the hair being a risk to you only if it's still attached to you, and it's not a risk to you if it's not attached to you. I don't know. I didn't understand it then, and I don't understand it now. If anyone is watching this and has a knowledge of magic and could explain this to me, that would be really great. So essentially, the royals and the nobles almost always had their hair covered. Even if they had their own hair, it was covered by a crown or a wig or something of that kind. It tended only to be the common person who would be most likely to have their own natural hair on display. And the ancient Egyptians would also use hair as a method of control over their prisoners. This is one of those unpleasant topics that I'm not going to go into any depth in because it's not very nice. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but I'll just make that comment, and you can see it in a lot of their artwork.